So today we're working on my Yamaha 450 ATV. We've already taken off the front plastics, the side plastics, and are going to do the spark plug and oil change throughout the day. I am here with Ava, my assistant. She'll be doing all the work today.
So I'm not the assistant.
Okay, you're the main person then. Okay, so everything's been removed, the gas tank's off, because on this particular model, the spark plug is dead center, top above, in a ridiculous spot. So you have to take the whole front end apart to get the spark plug out, which has already been removed. You need a deep socket, 16 mil socket with an extension to reach it and slide it out. We have the new spark plug ready to go, and she will put it in right now.
Wait,
So it goes in.
like that.
Turn. Make sure it doesn't get too tight or start cross-threading, because it is in an awkward spot and you really have no way to really center it. See? Now it is tight. The trick is getting the socket out without doing that. Once you have your spark plug put in, you take your coil pack and you push it down until you hear a pop and a click. And there you go, nice and tight. You have your new spark plug in, you're ready for that. So that's how you change the spark plug in a Yamaha 450. So now we are going to move on to the air filter, which is dirty and needs a nice little recharge. It's a K&N. So I have a recharge kit for it, and we're going to do that next. Start by undoing the butterfly nut behind the air filter. This will take some time. It's quite a long nut. Once you have the nut all the way undone, you can pull the filter out. Just like that. Pull the nut out. We won't need that for the cleaning. And we will use our K&N recharger kit. Make sure you read and follow the instructions. It's corrosive, inflammable, and, well, not good to breathe in. So we're going to do this outside real quick. Now we're outside. We're going to spray this filter nice and thoroughly. This is the cleaner part. It's a two-stage process. Every inch is going to get sprayed. We are wearing gloves and not in an enclosed space. Very important. Inside and out. Okay. Once your clear's on, you rinse it off. Inside and out. Every little bit. Now that we're back inside, we are gonna let this filter dry before we can apply the oil to it. So we'll move on to the next step on the next thing we're doing anyways while we wait for it to dry. Now we move on to the oil change. So we go under the reservoir here. She's going to reach under with a 12 mil socket. She's going to take that bolt right out. Make sure you have something to catch the oil when it starts coming out.
I can't see it.
That's right. Around there.
Okay. I lost it.
Yeah, you probably have to get on your back. Probably easier.
I have a big head.
You have to get on your back and kind of scooch underneath.
I'm gonna go like this.
Not see what you're doing?
Yeah.
Probably gonna be a lot more difficult that way.
I know.
Ava has repositioned herself. She says this is a little easier. She got it loose. Now she is just unthreading the bolt. Try and catch the bolt so it doesn't fall into the bin.
I can't make any promises.
Oil will start falling out pretty much immediately.
You said it would take a second.
Oh, once you get the bolt out, it'll come out right away.
But I'm gonna get on my hands.
That's why you have gloves on.
Fair enough.
And then voila, you got the bolt. Just leave it on the ground face up so you don't get dirty. And the oil will drain. Super easy. We'll wait a few minutes and we'll do the next part. So once your oil is completely drained, we are going to put the bolt back in. Ava will move this out of the way. Ava can tighten it up.
Which way? It fell out.
If you went lefty-loosey, righty-tighty.
I'm working on it.
You just do most of it by hand. They're pretty loose. And then when it's tight, you can't do any more by hand? Tight?
Tight? Yeah.
You do the rest by ratchet. Not too tight, because it's got to come back on again, off again eventually. Make sure you have the ratchet on tighten, not loosen. Perfect. Then we're gonna take it from the crankcase. There's a little bolt down here. Can barely see, but so now we got the bolt out of that. We're gonna let that drain for a minute or so, put the bolt back in, and we'll take the filter out. So once your oil is completely drained, put the bolt back in.
Yeah.
Alright, move your container out of the way. Get your ratchet. Turn the position so it's tight. Spin that black head there.
That?
Yes. There you go. Put it on. It's a really awkward spot. Nice and snug. Double check. Perfect. Next, we will be doing the oil filter. The oil filter, which has an 8mm socket and two 5mm Allen key bolts. And you can actually probably just spin those by hand now. I already freed them up.
Okay.
I have to do this one by hand. You do that bottom one by hand, I'll do this by... We're gonna get our little bucket, catch the oil that may just fall out of the side of this. There's still one more bolt up here.
Okay. Ah! That was a lot. There's one fell again. I didn't catch it.
The bolt?
No, it was something like round.
Does it look rubber gasket kind of thing?
I think so.
Yeah, it's probably just a piece of the...
I tried to catch it, but it
So-
slipped off my fingers.
In there you'll find your little oil filter, which needs replacing big time, in the bucket. Now we have the new filter put in. Put some oil on it, because I don't like putting dry filters in anything. Place the cover back on where you had it. It should be something like this. Make sure you have the filter in the right end. Like that. And there you go. Put your bolts back in. That was at the top, yeah. Try and remember to put them in the same pattern you took them out in, because they are different bolts for different spots.
Wait.
I'll let Ava do that. When she's finished, so we temped in all three bolts to position everything right. Just quickly just tighten them, not too tight, just nice and snug. And I'm going to snug them up just to make sure. We're back to put the oil back into the machine. Okay, so now Ava is going to put a little bit of oil into the motor. Now onto the floor. A little bit more. That should do. And the rest will go into here. Nice and slow. right on. And then we take out this. Have a nice rag handy. Wipe the dipstick. Here, you wipe the dipstick because you have two hands. Nice and clean. This in. Check our oil level. Still a little on the low side. It's okay, we'll have more oil in later. Not a big deal, you just keep putting oil in until you are at the full. Check for any leaks that are bolts that may not have come, or may not be tight enough, but looks like we are okay, nothing is dropping down. And then we'll move on to the next job in a minute. Now the air filter is dry, we're back outside. You spray, I'll hold. This is the red oil. Shake up the can. Spray away. Spray it like it's spray painting. No, you gotta hold it upside right so you know. Not upside down.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. Do not breathe this stuff in. It is not good. Okay. Now you have the red oil put back on there. You can tighten these that wing nut back up and put your air filter back in.
Wait, which way am I going?
Other way. And that'll be a minute, so we'll get back to that. So now we have completely changed the spark plug, the oil, and the air filter, so we are good for the next season. Ready to rock. Just gonna put the plastic back on and gas tank back on, and we'll be good to go. Right, Ava?